Okay, so I'm going to explain the diamond suit cards. So diamond suit cards are when you add Mario characters to your group, or when you start off with a Mario character or Zelda character, you basically have Mario. So you can start off with Mario. This is the ideal way to start the game. And Mario uses a 12-sided die. And using the Battle Ball rules, the lowest number is the strongest number than your opponent. So if you get a 1, you're automatically the strongest. If you get a 12 or the highest number this die is, then you're the weakest. But if you get a similar number to the other opponent, so let's say you and Koopa roll a 5, then both of you are taken out of the game. So this is Mario, and it's a regular Mario, and he uses the 12-sided die unless he gets a power-up. Now there are different types. This is Fire Mario, and Fire Mario uses a stronger die. He uses the 10-sided die, which has a 0, but you can use the 0 as a 10. And he uses this to attack. So if he gets a 1 and the opponent gets a 4 or 5, then he beats the other opponent. So each character has their own set of rules, and when you fight the villain, you're fighting on the villain's rules. Some characters have exceptions. For Fire Mario, if once he beats an opponent, or if he's just standing there, if there's a friend, let's say for example Luigi fights a villain, right? So he's about to fight, the villain is there, and he hasn't made a move yet. Mario can use what's called the fireball attack. That means that he can roll a number, and basically it's like, okay, a 5. And if the villain doesn't have a higher number than 5, he gets killed. So let's say Mario and Luigi are on 2 separate cards. Luigi fights a villain on the next level, right? So Mario can attack with a fireball attack against other characters. So regular Mario has a 12-sided die, and Fire Mario has a 10-sided die, and then therefore he can attack with fireball attack. So basically he's a little bit stronger. And then we have Super Mario. Super Mario is a little different because I changed the rule a bit. He was supposed to use this 10-sided die, but I decided to give him the yellow dice, which are the strongest. So he can choose, let's say he rolls a 7 total, but he can choose one of these two to beat the other characters. So that's how this one works. You're fighting on the villain's rules when you are fighting the villains, but for regular dice attacks, it's universal. So unless a villain has special rules for attacking the hero, you're basically doing the dice battle and seeing which lowest number is on whose side. And so for Super Mario, just like in the recent games, he gets really big. So he would have a stronger die. He would have the pair of dice, so he can choose which number of the two that he can use to beat the opponents. And then we have a tiny Mario. So I think in New Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers Wii, there's a Micro Mario. For this one here, basically he can evade opponents. So let's say he's up against Koopa. He can basically go around him. So he can just kind of go to the next level and, continue going on to level 7. So for Micro Mario, though, he uses the weakest die, which is the 20-sided die. And you can do evade, which is you flip a coin. If it's heads or tails, on tails, you can just take off. On heads, you have to fight Koopa or whoever, or Ganondorf. And so you would use the 20-sided die. So that's Micro Mario. You have also, if everyone remembers, this is the Raccoon Mario. I don't remember. There's Tanuki Mario with the whole suit and Raccoon Mario. So Raccoon Mario actually On Raccoon Mario, he uses this to attack the villains. If you're the villain and Mario comes up, this Mario comes up, what you do is you take the coin and you spin it. This is reminiscent of, this is like, it represents Raccoon Mario's spin attack. So what you do is you'd see which direction the top of the face is pointing to. So in this case, the top of the head is pointing towards Mario, so Mario would lose. So that's the villain, that's sort of the opponent's rule, is that if Mario is the one who's going to initiate the attack, so you wouldn't be playing this character, you would be fighting Raccoon Mario with this specific rule. Otherwise, if you're playing as him, then you would use the 10-sided die. Boo Mario is a little different. Boo Mario actually has, he can evade just about every character. But of course, he has to use a coin to do this. But unlike small Mario, he doesn't have a weaker, he actually uses this one. This is a stronger one. This is the 8-sided die. So think of Boo Mario as exactly the same as this one here, as Micro Mario, except he uses this one. And Boo Mario can actually float over every spade card. So all the spade cards, I told you, are the pit cards, the ones that are the bottomless pits that Mario and the others fall into. So he can just float over all of them. And then we have, this is Spring Mario. Spring Mario can spring over all the spade cards, and he uses the 10-sided die. So, for him, he can just, he can attack this way. That's his attack. And he also has a coin toss to evade characters. So this one, Spring Mario, Boo Mario, Micro Mario can all evade villains on the way. And Raccoon Mario, you spin the coin and just, whichever direction that coin is, if it faces him, he's gone. If it faces the other villain, that villain's gone. But this is only for when you're attacking. This coin spin is only for when you're the hero attacking him. Otherwise, you use the blue die. For this, I usually use one Mario character per game, so as not to be confusing. But you can use different Marios in one game. The only thing is that the rule is for these Marios here, these super-powered Marios, this is the regular Mario, and these ones here have powers. If they are attacked by a villain, they all die. For this, if Mario becomes superpowered, okay, let's say he gets a mushroom, a super mushroom, and he becomes Super Mario. Okay, so if he faces like Lakitu or Koopa or Goomba, and he loses, he reverts back to regular Mario. But if you're starting off the game with any of the super-powered Marios, it's one and done. So that's kind of how I'm working this. I'll explain these three later on, but the Mario ones were the more complex to explain. And of course I'll explain Luigi, because Luigi got left out, the whole thing. Here we are talking about ghosts, but Luigi got left out of the mix. So I'll explain more in depth, maybe next week or not, I don't know. We'll see.